What is up, everybody, and welcome to my social media book tour for Matthew, a Toy Story prequel. Now, for those of you who know, I do have a social media book tour that I am planning on doing on November 16th for My Life in a Nutshell, which is a story about my life. But I was thinking about what would be the best way to really talk about Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, because I really believe in this story. This is one of my favorite stories that I got to write, and I can't publish this story because of copyrights. The story Toy Story, as we all know, is a Pixar and a Disney thing. I can't really do anything with it. The only thing I can really do is tell you where you can read this story and just talk about the story and hopefully get Pixar and Disney's attention with this story to do something with this. I'm just going to dive right in and talk about this. So Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, is a story about Matthew, Andy's father, and how Woody became a family heirloom. It's the beginning of Woody's story as well, and about how he became the leader we know him as today. So to start things out, so Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, was this idea that came to me after a random night of it was a Saturday. SNL was in repeats. Usually I like to watch Saturday Night Live, but it was in repeats, and there was really nothing on, and so I just figured, what the heck, I'll just throw on Toy Story 2. And I own all the Toy Story films, so no big thing. So threw it on, was watching it, and there was a few things that really grabbed my attention and really got this turning. First off was Andy's mother saying that Woody, who was a family heirloom to Al from Big Al's Toy Barn when Al was trying to buy Woody. And then the other thing was, after Woody was taken by Al and then went into his apartment where he keeps all his collectibles. A lot of his collectibles were items from what we learned was a show called Woody's Roundup. You had the Prospect, you had Jesse, you had Bullseye, and Woody learning about who he was. Kind of like how it was kind of like Woody having his moment of learning who he was is the same for Buzz Lightyear of learning of who he was when in the first Toy Story movie. But it was this really cool moment, and Woody is watching himself on TV, black and white. It was a show from the 1950s, Woody's Roundup, and then you get to the end of that, and you're not knowing whether or not Woody and Bullseye made it to the other side or not. So that was really cool. Those two things, and I'm like, just for Woody's part of it, was just like, that is interesting. There is a story there that we can really tell. And and obviously, as we went on through Toy Story 3 and 4 and now eventually 5, they never really went any further with it. It was just kind of just everything they wanted to tell about that past of Woody was kind of just told right there in Toy Story 2. And then the other thing the third thing that really got me spinning was Andy's father. Now and that one takes it back to the first Toy Story movie, where we meet Andy, we meet his sister and his mother. Now Andy, we all know Andy has a father, and the question was, what happened to Andy's father? Because Andy is a big brother to his little sister, mother is there, and they're getting ready to move. Right? The first Toy Story movie is, obviously we're meeting all these toys for the first time, meeting Woody, meeting Buzz, meeting meeting everyone. But at the same time, this is also Andy's last birthday party in this house before they move. So I took about the question of asking where is Andy's father and the fact that they're moving, and I put all it, and then the wheels got turning, and I finished the movie. And then after I got to the end of the movie, I couldn't sleep. This was killing me, of this idea that was just starting to go. So I got the MacBook and sat in front of it, and I just started writing. And when I was done writing, I came up with this story of Matthew, who is Andy's father, who was a little kid, and how Woody became a family heirloom, and then really focusing on Matthew through the years, watching Matthew grow up, go to college, meeting Jennifer, Andy's mother, and then we get to the part where Andy is given Woody, and then and then also we get to the end, we get to this almost ending of the story where we learn about what happened to Matthew. And then the ending of the story is, I think I'll leave that part for you guys to read for yourselves and find out. But it's really I do put Woody in this story to get the ball rolling on Woody, but the focus of this is Matthew, Andy's father, and learning about him and watching him grow up quickly through the years, and eventually learning about what happened to him as well. So what I would like to do now is to read just a little bit of it, maybe just to read a little bit of Matthew, and then one more thing I want to talk to you guys about, and then that'll be it. And that'll be it for this social media book tour. So let's just dive in. The story of Andy and his favorite toys, Woody and Buzz Lightyear, is a story that many of us know. The story we don't know and have been curious about is the story of Andy's father and how Woody became a family heirloom, like Andy's mother said he was to Al from Al's Toy Barn in Toy Story 2 before Al stole Woody and tried to sell him to a private investor. Since the first Toy Story movie in 1995, a curiosity of what happened to Andy's father has always been a mystery. In the first Toy Story movie, we are introduced to Andy, his sister Molly, and his mother, but there is no father. The story I'm about to tell, or at least do my best to tell, is a story that I hope answers some questions about Woody being a family heirloom, Andy's father, and how Andy's father and mother met. Like they say, every story has a beginning. But this story, the story we've all known since we were children, is the story before the story. The year is 1957, and Matthew is sitting in front of a black and white TV watching his favorite TV show, Woody's Roundup. At the end of the show, which ended in a cliffhanger, not knowing if Woody and Bullseye made it to the other side of the cliff, a commercial of Woody dolls came onto the black and white TV screen. Matthew got very excited when he saw the commercial. When the commercial was over, Matthew ran to his dad, who was in the kitchen talking to a friend of his on the phone. Matthew saw his father on the phone and stood in the kitchen with excitement, waiting to ask his dad a question. When his father got off the phone, Matthew asked his dad if he could have a Woody the cowboy doll that he saw on TV. And that is just a little something of Matthew, a Toy Story prequel. So really quick, first, to read this story, you can read it on my AKT Publishing WordPress page. That would be wordpress.wwe since, that's SINCE 83.com. That's where you will find it. If you're watching this on Instagram or on Facebook, or on my YouTube channel, on my AKT Publishing YouTube channel. The link will be in the bio. If you're watching this on TikTok, you will go to, you can find it where on the website I said you could find it on. And I really believe in this story. I enjoyed writing this story. At least for me, this story I wrote kind of gives the Toy Story franchise a bit more of a full circle. If you look at it as the first three Toy Story films, where we're really focused on, Woody, we're focused on Buzz Lightyear and friends and Andy, and getting to that third movie, getting to the end of that third Toy Story movie, and then how it ends, very sadly, very perfect. You take those three Toy Story movies and you add this Matthew story to it, and it feels complete. The way I look at Toy Story 4 and eventually Toy Story 5, since it was announced, I look at it kind of like how Star Trek fans would look at Star Trek. You know, you have Star Trek, and then you have Star Trek Next Generation. I kind of look at it like that. Toy Story 4 and eventually 5, whenever it comes out, it's more or less Toy Story Next Generation, because the story of Andy with his toys is done, it's over, and after he donates them and gives them to a little girl who will continue to play with his toys the way he played with them as a kid, that's the next generation. So Toy Story 4 and eventually 5 are really that next generation type movies, and Matthew would really be part of those first three Toy Story films and bring those to a full circle, full complete, as you will. But I hope you enjoy this story. When talking about this story, make sure you use the hashtags Toy Story Prequel, Disney and Pixar. Let's let Pixar and Disney know about this story. Let's really get their attention. Hope you all can help me with that. And let's see if we can take these words that I have and put them on the screen and bring it to life. I'm going to keep talking about this story until there's no end in sight. I'm going to keep talking about this story because I believe in this story. But doing this social media book tour, for all of you who are watching this on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on my YouTube channel, this is a bigger way for me to let y'all know about this story, to read this story, to let the people know who need to know about this story. Thank you in advance for all your help for getting this story out there and letting people know who need to know about this story. And I'll see y'all on the next one. The planned social media book tour for My Life in a Nutshell that will kick off when I go live on Instagram November 16th. But until then, that is Matthew, a Toy Story Prequel. I am Anthony KT, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace, y'all.